justifies killing zombies, my children. At the beginning of 2020, we took a look at DC's long-awaited answer to Marvel Zombies, wherein a modified version of the anti-life equation turned the world into the undead. And there was more to the story than just the heroes escaping Earth. On the first day of the infection, Deathstroke is hired to slaughter a right-wing terrorist cell that had set fire to several churches. However, he arrives to find that they are already fleeing for their lives from the anti-living. A house full of Nazi zombies, as he puts it. The worst of the undead combined with the worst of the living. Still, a job's a job, and he finishes them all off, deciding to call his client to renegotiate. But of course, technology with screens is how the anti-life equation spreads, so he is infected. For one day. Slade Wilson, mercenary during the week, zombie on the weekends. Jason Todd arrives at the Batcave, discovering the bodies of Batman, Nightwing, and Robin Tim Drake, left there by Alfred before he went to join the heroes. He finds Ace the Bat-Hound alive and well, and takes the time to bury his former compatriots, though he probably shouldn't have bothered, since he in turn went to locate the remaining members of the Bat family still alive. And only two are Cassandra Cain and Commissioner Gordon. Deathstroke contacts his daughter, Rose, aka Ravager, who has been holed up in her apartment. She can see brief flashes into the future, so every time she sees an attempt to leave her apartment, she is attacked and killed by the zombies. He brings a helicopter to retrieve her, but an attack by Man-Bat ends that means of escape. Rose still stabs him. They have a complicated relationship, thinking he is a zombie, but he reveals that his healing factor has purged the anti-life equation virus from his system. Fortunately, the two are retrieved by Mirror Master, who offers them a deal from the immortal Vandal Savage. Savage explains about the tree lobster, an animal that went extinct long ago because of an infestation of rats that ate them all. And yet it turns out the species survived by finding a perfect hiding place on an island. Savage plans to do the same thing. He survived extinction events before, after all, and thus he has invited a group of villains to join. Solomon Grundy, who is also immune to the virus, the Creeper, Cheetah, Captain Cold, Lady Shiva, Bane, and Deadshot. Creeper has taken the story to mean that they should call themselves the Tree Lobster. He even made shirts! You know, I have a pretty snazzy dress sense and wardrobe, but I've got to admit, I want that shirt. Jason Todd brings in Cassandra Cain and Jim Gordon, and they head to Bloodhaven, discovering a single building surrounded by walls that has survivors in it. Once they get inside, they discover it is an orphanage, the adult caregivers having been infected and locked away in a gym, along with several children, thanks to a single superhero who has disappeared. 3 weeks later, they overhear the broadcast from the end of the original miniseries, announcing that humanity is leaving the Earth on 2 arcs, and they need to get to either the jungle in Gotham or Themyscira if they want to escape with them. Gordon, however, decides they are not going to leave. There's no way they can safely get all the children to the arcs. As such, they decide not to tell them this is happening. Cassandra Cain is soon visited by Lady Shiva and Mirror Master, the former offering her daughter a chance to join them on the island. Cassandra will only do it if the children can come too, but Shiva says they don't have the room for that, so she refuses to leave. Back on the island, Savage berates Shiva for risking Mirror Master by leaving, since he's their only contingency if something goes wrong. An argument breaks out, but Deathstroke diffuses it, pointing out that they're a bunch of volatile killers under the same roof who are all tense and bored, so best to not try to murder each other. So anyway, Savage brings Deathstroke into a lab where he is dissecting the Creeper to try to figure out why he's immune to the virus, and he intends to do the same to Deathstroke. Ravager, having seen this in a future vision, quickly helps the two escape, but then has a future vision that has her order them to run. The undead Wonder Woman arriving on the island and ripping Vandal Savage in half. The villains escape back to the orphanage, Captain Cold staying behind to hold off Wonder Woman. Mirror Master tries to go back to get him, but the captain is turned, and soon so is Mirror Master. With no other place to go, Deathstroke convinces Gordon that they have to let the supervillains stay with them and train the children. It's likely Wonder Woman or some other superpowered zombie will attack them, and they need to be ready. Deathstroke also defers leadership to Gordon. He held the worst city in America together by sheer force of will, so he can do the same here. The villains also elect to deal with the infected in the gym, not wanting the risk of the infected in their own walls, but also knowing that the more heroic don't have the stomach for it. Sadly, Jason Todd discovers that Billy Batson, aka Shazam, aka Captain Marvel, was also among the infected and must kill him too. The kids actually end up taking to the villains rather well, and the villains in turn take to the kids, forming bonds with specific ones. Unfortunately, the undead Mirror Master finally returns and attacks, killing Bane on the Deadshot. The undead Bane also opens the walls up to allow the anti-living inside. Fortunately, the training paid off. The kids and the villains are able to hold off the infected long enough to escape in some school buses they had, plus the Batmobile. They head out to the Gotham jungle, hoping that might be some form of sanctuary. Unfortunately, while the garden is there are also hundreds, if not thousands of zombies in their way. And then Wonder Woman comes in to make things worse. Cheetah, Grundy, and the Creeper take her on. 3 lobsters stick together after all. Lady Shiva is infected while saving Cassandra from the Horde, and admits to her that she is the only person she ever admired. And then she pulls out her own heart. And that, my children, is the truest way to express your love to someone. Deathstroke's bus gets damaged, so he stays behind to fend off the zombies and allow everyone else to reach Cassandra's. Wonder Woman kills him, destroying his body enough that his healing factor cannot compensate. She lifts the remaining bus, intending to kill all the survivors. But fortunately, it turns out the superhero who had saved the children had been among them the whole time. As Mary Marvel shouts Shazam and engages her in battle. She had turned back into her teenage form, afraid of the power of the wizard falling into the hands of the anti-life equation. But now she has no choice but to fight. Under normal circumstances, she had no chance against Wonder Woman. But thanks to the ruthless training by Lady Shiva and Cassandra Cain during their time in the orphanage, she destroys the former Spirit of Truth and carries the bus to safety in the garden. There they find other survivors and a magical barrier protecting it, courtesy of Poison Ivy, Dr. Fate, Zatanna, and John Constantine. And in honor of the villains who had become heroes, they erect a statue to them in their honor. Villains, saviors, family, 3 lobsters. At the end of everything, you see the true character of the people with you. Though will that hold up for another DCeased story? We'll find that out eventually.